We continue now at the top of Daf Pei Aleph Amud Beis Mesechet Yevamos. This is Yevamos Daf 81b. The Gemara here continues a mission in Arla. It said Kulon Yidlaku. Let's say you have a situation of Chavile Tilson, which again is bundles of clover, and it's kilayim. It gets mixed up with other items. So the halacha is everything it gets mixed up with, it's not batel. You have to burn it all. Divrei Rabbi Meir. That's Rabbi Meir's opinion. Rashi over here says Kulon Yidlaku Delo Batli. It's not batel. Kedekatani Taima Shoy Rabbi Meir Omer. It's like we're going to say the reason in a moment. Rabbi Meir says Kol Darko limonos mekadesh as hamesare vimo vein batel barov. Anytime you have a situation of something that even is only occasionally counted by unit, that's considered important enough that it is not batel. Shekili hakerem bedavar shein b'minyan b'teilim b'echad b'umasayim. Now, a normal situation of kilayim that gets that's not considered something important that gets mixed up, it's batel 1 in 200. Kedamar b'psachim, like we say in psachim. Rashi goes on to quote the source of this that it's batel in 1 in 200. But over here, where you're talking about something that is chashuv, according to Rabbi Meir, it's not going to be batel at all, and you're going to have to burn the whole mixture. The Chachamim say yalu bechru masayim. No, it could be batel in 1 in 200, just like a normal situation of kilayim. And the Mishnah explains Shahaya Rabbi Meir Omer Kol Shedarko Limanos Mekadesh, because Rabbi Meir says anything that's counted by unit, that's considered chashuv. It's going to be mekadesh. It's not going to be batel. The Chachamim say Eino mekadesh el shisha dvarim bilvad. There are only 6 items that are considered so important that they're not batel. Rabbi Akiva Omer Shiva. Rabbi Akiva says there are 7 items. Eluhain, and these are the items. Goze perech, these are a kind of nuts, verimone baden, and the pomegranates of baden. Bechavios tumos, let's say you have sealed barrels of wine. Bechalfe teradin, let's say you have, these are kind of beets. Bekolche kruv, this is a kind of cabbage. Bedalas yevonis, and you have a gourd, which is a Greek gourd. All of these are important kinds of items, and they're not batel at all, according to the Chachamim. For Rabbi Akiva Mosef, and Rabbi Akiva, like we said, he adds a 7th. Af kikara shel balabayis, also the loaves of bread of a balabayis, those are also considered chashuv, and they're not batel. And the Mishnah just says haruyin la arla, the items that we listed over here that are fit to be arla, meaning they're items that grow on trees and that can be arla. That's talking about arla. Lekilei hakarim, and those items which are fit in terms of the halachas of kilei hakarim, as Rashi over here says, haruyin la arla kagon egozim, verimon, vechevios. Those are items, the barrels of wine, the nuts, the pomegranate. Those are things that grow on trees and can be arla. Mekachin vosin, it's aksher mishamarla. Those are relevant to arla. And then it said those things that are ru'uyin l'kilei hakarim. Again, l'kilei hakarim, ru'uyin l'kilei hakarim. Rashi says kagon teradin, ukruv v'dalas. You're talking about the beets, the cabbage, the gourd. Those things are fit to be part of kilayim because they'll grow next to the vine. So those are going to be kilayim. And the point over here of bringing the Mishnah is that Rabbi Meir said, Kol shedarko limonos. And the question is, what is the proper text? And this is relevant to what we said on the previous Amud. Rabbi Yochanan savar es shedarko limonos shanin. Rabbi Yochanan says the text actually should not be Kol shedarko limonos, but it should be es shedarko limonos, meaning in order to be considered chashuv, it has to be something that is always counted by unit, according to Rabbi Yochanan. Reish Lakish says, no, Kol shedarko limonos shaninu. Anything that even sometimes is counted by unit, that's considered chashuv enough not to be batel, according to Rabbi Meir. And as Rashi over here explains, Rabbi Yochanan savar as shedarku limonos shemiyuchad b'minyan shanidu. It has to be only counted by unit. The low batel, only then it's not batel. Hilka chatichos vigulim. So, for example, if you have cuts of meat or if you have pressed figs, that was on the previous amud. Afagav shedarku limonos, even though those sometimes are counted by unit. Hoel shedarku nami limacher b'omid, since they're also sometimes sold by estimate, batli they are batel. We said all of that in the previous amud. Reish Lakish savar kol shedarku limonos. Anything that is counted by unit, afilu leprakim, even sometimes shaninu, even that is considered. We learned that that's considered chashuv the low batel, and it's not batel. Hilkach eagle. Therefore, going back to the case we had in the previous summit by the pressed figs, isalka daitach truma bizman hazeh doraisa. If one were to hold that truma nowadays is doraisa, lo haya batel, it would not be batel, which is why Reish Lakish said truma bizman hazeh is midrabanan. And the Gemara continues, my chaticha. What is the case of the cuts of meat that was referred to on the previous summit? And the Gemara brings the brisa. The Tanya, as we learned in a brisa, chaticha shel chatas tameya. Let's say you have a cut of meat of a carbon chatas that is tameya, it's impure. Shenezarva b'meya chaticha shel chatos tahoros, and it gets mixed up with 100 cuts of chatos which are pure, which are tahoros. V'chein perusa shel lechem aponim tameya. Let's say you have a slice of lechem aponim that's tameya. Shenezarva b'meya perusa shel lechem aponim tahoros. It gets mixed up with 100 slices of lechem aponim that's tahoros. Tala, that also is going to be batel. Rabbi Yehuda Omer lo sala. Rabbi Yehuda says it's not going to be batal. We'll see Rashi in a moment. Aval chaticha shel chatas tahora. But if you would have, let's say, a cut of meat of a chatas that's pure, shenisarva b'mei chaticha shel chulin tahoros, and it gets mixed up with 100 cuts of meat of non-carbon that is pure. V'chein prusa shel lechem aponim tahora. Let's say you have a slice of lechem aponim that's tahora. Shenisarva b'mei prusa shel chulin tahoros, and it gets mixed up with 100 slices of chulin of non lechem aponim bread that is tahoros. Devrei hakol lo sala. In that case, everybody agrees that it is not going to be batal. And Rashi over here explains, Rabbi Yehuda Omer lo sala. First, Rabbi Yehuda said in the first case of the Mishnah where it was chatas tameya getting mixed up with chatas tahora, so Rabbi Yehuda says it's not going to be batal. Why? Because Rabbi Yehuda happens to hold b'chol duchta, everywhere he holds min b'mino lo batal. If you have the same kinds of species getting mixed up with one another, min b'mino, so then it's never going to be batal. That's why Rabbi Yehuda says over here it's not batal. Tanakam again says that it is going to be batal, but everybody agrees. Divrei hakol lo sala. Everybody agrees if it's a chatos tahora that gets mixed up with chatos of chulin tahoros, so with chatichos of chulin, meaning non-chatos tahoros. So you have a carbon getting mixed up with non-carbon. Everybody agrees it's not batal. Rashi explains Tanakama moda. Here the Tanakama admits that it's not batal for a different reason. However, because here, since everything is pure, you could just sell the mixture to a kohen who's allowed to eat from the chatas anyway. You could sell it, you'll just lose a little bit of money. There's no reason to rely on bittul. V'chaticho prusa darkon limonos mishum hefsid muat lo mevatlina. When you have chaticha and prusa, which sometimes is the way that, again, you're going to count that by units sometimes, so that's already a little bit of a reason not to say batal, and it's just going to be a small loss of money, so we don't say batal by an isura doraisa, by an isra doraisa. V'yafagav the eagle batal bechulin. Now, even though by the pressed figs we did say it's batal, and in that case also you could sell it. It was truma over there. Sell it to a kohen. V'lo mizavnin on leila kohen. There we don't give the suggestion of selling it to a kohen. Hasam hu the eagle gufe truma derabanan. There, the eagle itself is only truma miderabanan anyway. Like we said, it's not an item that is truma on a doraisa level. V'reisha tala. Now, in the reisha, Rashi points out the reisha of the brisa where we said it is batal, where you have chatas tamei with chatas tahora, dein lem takana, because there is no other solution over there. Elas reifa, the only other solution is to burn it. V'ika hefsid kachim, that's already a loss of kachim. So over there, in such a situation, you don't have another option. So there they say that it is going to be batal. But again, in the safe of the brisa, we say it's not batal because you have a solution to sell it to a kohen. And in any case, the Gemara continues, katani mios reisha. Nevertheless, what does it say in the beginning of this brisa? Ta'ala, it says that we do have a situation of bittul over here. It is batal. And the point is, this is a question on Reish Lakish. This is exactly the question Rabbi Yochanan asked on Reish Lakish in the previous Amud. Katani mios reisha ta'ala. Rashi says, kasha l'Reish Lakish. This is difficult to Reish Lakish. Diamar kol shedarko limano shanina, because Reish Lakish is the one that said that even if occasionally it is counted by unit, that's enough to make it chashav and it's not batal. But here we're saying that it is batal. Ta'acha darkon limano, so batal. Here it's something that's occasionally counted by unit and it's batal. And it seems to be a proof to Reish Lakish that that's not enough to consider something chashav. Rather, it has to always be counted by unit to be considered chashav. And so the Gemara continues, Amar Rabbi Chia b'rei de Rav Huna. Rabbi Chia, the son of Rav Huna, says, he answers on behalf of Reish Lakish, bini mocha. The case over there has to be, you have to say that the meat is actually crushed up, and therefore it loses its status of chashivas, even according to Reish Lakish. Even according to Reish Lakish, that something that is sometimes counted by unit is considered chashiv, but in this case, that's not even the situation. It's completely crushed up meat. It's not considered chashiv, and that's why it's batal in the reish of the brisa. Gemara says, Yachi, if so, my time with Rabbi Yehuda. What's the reason of Rabbi Yehuda that it's not going to be batal in this case? And we'll continue with this discussion in the next video on Daf Pei Beis Amud Aleph.